After a week of unrelenting rain, the wet weather conditions have finally abated in KwaZulu-Natal, but damage to infrastructure has certainly left many communities without water still. Officials say water tankers have been dispatched to affected areas, but some residents have disputed this. Let's get you an update on the story. eThekwini Head of Water and Sanitation is Ednick Msweli, who joins us via our video link this morning. Great to see you, sir. Thanks for your time. It'd be remiss of me not to begin perhaps with the big hullabaloo, as it's been labeled, around this water tanker that was delivered outside of the home of the Premier, Sihle Zikalala. What do you know about how that water tanker landed up there and where it was meant to go?
Well, good morning. That tanker was sent to us to the area of Lamesi. Premier lives around Lamesi. There's a hall, because we've got now people living that we've put up in the halls because of the disaster. So we had sent it to go to that hall. Yes, I've seen the footages, but what we know is that the tanker was supposed to go to a hall and supply people with water there.
Have you been able to get to the bottom of how it landed up outside the Premier's house?
Well, I think it's, the drivers, there may have been a miscommunication with the drivers. Yes, but, the Premier is also a citizen and maybe he also needed water. But all I'm saying is that from the city side, we had sent the tanker to the hall. And my understanding is that he doesn't live far from there, so it's quite possible that the tanker ended up there. But that was not the plan. We did not send a water tanker to go to the Premier's house specifically. We would have done that.
Yeah, I hear that. And I'm sure you must have seen the reaction. At the very least, people concerned that the Premier is using his position to be able to advantage him in a context where he, like scores of other people in that area, needed water. It's not much to ask that at least at the very least you're able to speak to the driver to be able to get to the bottom of what instruction he received that ended up with him putting that tanker outside the Premier's house. Have you not spoken to the driver yet?
No, let me admit I haven't done that. And that's because of just a hectic schedule in dealing with the storm. We have a war room that the Minister of Water and Sanitation has started. And many wards, as you know, about 110 wards. So really our focus has been there. But I just took it as miscommunication with the driver, because when we send a message down, you don't send it directly to the driver. You send it to your supervisor. The supervisor sends it down to the driver. So the message can be lost in that process. But it wasn't a big deal for us, because I know that the Premier doesn't live far. It's actually literally across the road.
Yeah, that's not really the point, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that. At the very least, the optics look very concerning. People are already disillusioned about how government in the past has used crises, at the very least, for its own benefit or to benefit its own members. So something like this, even if perhaps it is a miscommunication, as you put it today, needs at least a follow-up and clear feedback to communities who, again, are completely disheartened by what they've seen because of their experience in the past.
Yeah. The Premier, when he has called, sometimes when he even doesn't have water, he emphasizes that we must serve the community first. And that's how I've dealt with him. Most of the times he has called me. So just based on that, I don't expect that he would have said, send a tanker to my house. But I agree, and that perhaps we need to just drill down a bit more. But when it happened, that given the situation we're dealing with, I just really took it that way, because I'm aware that we have challenges in the Lamesi area, even up to now. So I just took it that, the driver may have been asked by someone and he went there. But I know that I did send a tanker to the community hall, and we're still doing that even now. And I'm also aware that his house is, I don't know, maybe less than 500 meters from there. I'm aware of that.
Sure. And I'm sure you'll also agree that it's incredibly important to find out who would have asked this driver to leave this tanker outside the Premier's house. That is important information at the very least, because it shouldn't have happened. You agree with that?
No, I agree. I agree. Given the demand for the water tankers and the fact that we don't have enough of them, certainly we would. And that much I can confirm, that it was not sent specifically to his house.
Where is the water tanker as of this morning?
Well, this is a daily occurrence. This is what we're doing daily. So we are sending them all over the place. We've got 200 currently of these water tankers, and we have a schedule of them. If you go to our website, the city's website, there's a deployment plan for water tankers. So if you look at that plan, we almost account for each and every water tanker. And you'll notice that there isn't a water tanker that's allocated to the Premier's house. Every water tanker is allocated to a ward And we even have the ward councillors, because we work through the ward councillors. So we never allocate tankers to individuals.
Sure. My question is the water tanker that was placed outside of the Premier's house erroneously, as we now know, where's that specific one as you and I speak today?
No, it came back to us and it's been redeployed elsewhere on the same day. It would have come back to the depot to be refilled and redeployed elsewhere.
All right. There's other, residents or other community members who have said that, they still feel like they've been left through the cracks. We've seen various reports where journalists go into communities saying that they are yet to receive any kind of assistance. You've essentially already confessed that there is a shortage of these water tankers. What then becomes the strategy to reach as many people as possible in a context where I imagine you can't reach everyone at the same time?
Well, I think we have to share what's available. If you go to our website and see the deployment plan, you might see a ward that's allocated 6 water tankers, for example, and another one allocated 2. So as we become available of more areas, we would then have to go to the one with 6 and say, look, we'll now leave you with 3, so if we can take the 3 somewhere else. But on the other hand, on our side, we are also constantly looking at that and looking at whether there's a need to then increase the water tankers. What we are grateful for is people that have come forward outside of the municipality and outside of the provincial government that has assisted us. Some other individuals and private companies have come forward with their own water tankers and said, we are willing to assist at no cost to council. So we are also using those water tankers to then reach areas that we have not currently reached. I know even yesterday there was an offer of about 10 water tankers that are going to start today that are not council owned. So we went and looked at the gaps, where the gaps are, and we are going to then allocate those water tankers. Mm-hmm. But we've received quite a lot even from government.
Have you been able to ascertain yet how long this arrangement will have to stay in place? In other words, do you have timelines around how long it will take to essentially fix the bulk infrastructure that's been damaged by these floods?
We are 60% recovered in terms of overall in the city. But there is one area one installation, a pump station that we need to fix that will make the biggest impact and impact on the southern areas. We started work on that particular pump station. It's called the South Coast Accommodation Pump Station yesterday. We think we're going to be finished at West Saturday. So if we recover that particular installation, it will really make a big difference. That will push our 60%, I think, to 80% or so. So the rest requires extensive work that would take time. For example, in the north, in the Tonga area, we have a water works that was completely destroyed. So to rebuild a water works, that would take months. So in the interim, we're then looking at alternative solutions like a package plant, and that will even take maybe perhaps a month to install. So then you'll be left with those that just require a more serious work to recover. But 80% of quick fixes we would have done, I would say, in the next week or at the latest 2 weeks.
All right. Ednick Msweli is the head of water and sanitation in the eThekwini municipality. So thanks for your time. We look forward to that feedback, by the way, around who directed this water tanker specifically to the Premier's house in the North Coast. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us.